So if we check out the players that we started at the top 16 at the solo, so we had most of the players invited with their performances from either Baltic Trackmania League in the previous season or the previous years, in the Comic-Con Baltics, and a lot of LAN performances that were invited. Also, we held an open qualifier, and from which we are down to 8. And the final 8 players, we have Morioka and Vinho, who were the first 2 who closed out this Swiss stage and got the top seeds for today's bracket. Auris was in 3rd with a 3rd seed, Greedy in 4th, Karluki in 5th seed, Ziren and Ieva 6th and 7th, and Marcelli in 8th. So we have 2 Latvians, 3 Lithuanians, and 3 Estonians for today, for being in the bunch for the fight for the top winner for the first time. So we've already speaking to some of the players. We have, of course, Morioka. Morioka has been the most winningest player in the Baltic region. Sadly, hasn't competed that much outside of internationally, but he's here once again to take actually his 2nd champion title in a row. Additionally, to continue his win streak with the Baltic Trackmania events as well. Vinho trying to finally get his redemption back in Trackmania, at least in the Baltic scene, where he has managed to still get a win in, but is still pretty close to doing so. So maybe he'll be doing today. And then we have the scene number 3, which is gonna be Auris. Auris has been the best performing from the players from yesterday on between the the team-owned players. So let's see what they will be able to do today, especially because in the teams they looked really good, but especially his teammate Ziren, who showed solid pace, did not get the best performance out of it. So let's see what he will be able to do today, especially because Ziren, due to his struggling into Swiss stage yesterday, got himself only 6th seed, where now we're going to be watching actually the match in semi-final 2, which is going to be between Vinho, Auris, Ziren, and Marcelli, which in my opinion is going to be the closest match. But at the same time, we also have the top side bracket going to be played out, which is going to be happening at the same time with Morioka, Kridi, Ieva, and Karluki. Karluki as well continuing his top 8 streak, same with Ieva, where they managed to get the top 8 in the previous Baltic Trackmania League. So pretty nice to see that they got the top 8 here in the championship as well, where Crazy Cat and Arvito were really close yesterday, but despite winning or leading majority of the match, could not get to close out the last few instances of the Swiss stage. So let's see what the players can do, especially Marcelli is going to be the new name in the top 8 today. So let's see what will the players be able to do, as we're going to be finally going into the match, as the pick and ban is going to be the unique thing that's going to be start happening for the playoff bracket today, as the players are starting with their top seed, so the higher seed they had in their Swiss stage matches early on, the earlier the pick they get. So that's why Vinho was the first one to pick. Second one is Auris. Then we have Ziren doing non-parallel as the pick, and Marcelli then can decide between Wavelength and Agartha in the map order. So there is no ban here, it's mainly decided to the pick ban order. However, the first pick that you get to decide is still going to give a nice advantage, especially coming after the later rounds, when the full map rotation is gonna be played out, and you can close out it way better and way easier on the map of your choice. But yeah, either way, we're gonna be soon starting, approximately 1 minute before we start for the main match. And we're starting, so in this match we have Marcelli, who I mentioned is first time getting his top 8 in a Baltic solo event, has always been around that 9-12 range, but sadly, well, actually, for him, managed to beat his teammate Arvito in the Swiss stage, where he was actually tiny bit. Honestly, Arvito was performing way better during the team event, so a nice upset there happened for Marcelli's side, finally scoring that top 8, but with the sacrifice of his teammates. Then, of course, we have Auris and Vinho currently waiting, as we're finally going to be starting the match. So it's going to be first map was picked by Vinho. And let's see how it goes. So one important thing here is that we're going to be playing till 110 points. So we have a bit of extended points amounts. That's going to be players playing for today. So some light improvements as well from the players happening during yesterday. So let's see what will be happening here as as there's a good chance for them to finally get a good showcase here in today's event. As finally we have match starting, first semi-final, as the second one is currently being played off-stream at the same time as well. So Auris, Marcelli, Dvinho and Ziren, top 2 advance to the upper final. Bottom 2 will not be eliminated, but will send to lowers. But of course, the players who will come from the upper side of the bracket will get a nice advantage, especially coming into the later stages of the brackets. So far, Ziren with his early mistake so far in the run in the first run. Auris is the one leading, following by Marcelli from Baltic Vikings. Dvinho having an additional mistake and having the best start is a whole 5 seconds now behind. As now both Marcelli, the biggest underdog in this match right now, is going for his second position, potentially scoring those 7 points, as it's a bit unfortunately wide round, but it's good old El Clasico at the start of events. Auris doesn't get the touch at the end and gets his actually a 46 opener. Not too shabby of a start, considering we haven't seen 46s played that often. And let's see what will be possible today, as Marcelli has a pretty solid start. So one of the true favorites, if you look at the very start seeding when the whole event started, so these players actually were. So Auris was 2nd seed, Dvinho was 3rd seed, and Ziren was 5th seed, wherein meanwhile Marcelli was only seed number 11. And he managed to put himself through the Swiss into the playoffs. So if he managed to continue, every single win or every single person Marcelli beats here is actually an upset, theoretically speaking. Dvinho finally getting a bit more solid start. Marcelli trying to go for a bit of safer setups, trying to wait on other players' mistakes. We saw the inconsistencies from Ziren especially, who goes for really risky approaches most of the parts. It looks like Ziren kind of to maintain the risk at least this time around. Oh, very sketchy line there. Dvinho doesn't get it. He gets overtaken by Marcelli there as well. As Ziren gets a 0.8. We have consistent 46s as the match winning times. Definitely not the state that we had seen previously. And Dvinho not having the best start, considering this was his preferred map of choice. So maybe he intentionally picked this map early on, just to get done with it, and then maybe bounce back later in the bracket or in the match. Dvinho once again having the start lead. Auris gets a bit more exit speed. Dvinho had to do a light recorrection there. Oi, Dvinho touches. Same with Ziren. And now Marcelli once again in the top 2 with that. Auris had a pretty sketchy line there, but still survived it. Was very close to that checkpoint. Dvinho is making another mistake together with Ziren. This is a really good call now for Marcelli. He's once again now in 2nd place. Let's see if it doesn't make it. Looks like very easy, nice setups from both of the players. So Auris gonna take 47 this time. He's gonna be able to earn with the 10 points. I'm gonna extend his lead a bit. Same with Marcelli. Now overtaking Ziren. No, sorry, not gonna overtake Ziren just yet, but still increasing the gap with him over Dvinho here. So we're gonna have one more round on this map. So definitely Dvinho is 3 not the best starts. 3 last places on his preferred map of choice. Looks like Marcelli had an early mistake. That's a pretty large one, honestly. Same with Auris not getting the slide there going, as Ziren as well touches. So a lot of mistakes too early on. Honestly, the consistency has been looking here quite lower. I saw a lot of banter happening as well on the Baltic Discords before the matches as well. What is this line out, Ziren? You're playing like the... What is Auris doing as well? Come on, man. They have played the maps for months. Looks like they're just doing a full discovery run right now. Looks like Dvinho is going to get a pretty free 10-pointer unless he does something ridiculous at the end. Looks like no major mistakes for Dvinho. Doesn't get even the fastest time, but if a mistake happens somewhere in the middle, best to play it safe, and it's boom, tuck, and done. Dvinho gets his finally 10-pointer in his match. Gets a nice rebound at least from the 9 points, as he literally beats his points amount from the previous rounds. But yeah, an absolute joke of a first map. Too many mistakes. It was literally on who crashes the least. With that, we have a pretty all over the place leaderboard. Auris is at 30 due to that. Ziren has 27, Marcelli at 24, and Dvinho at 19. So let's see what happens on Calgario. Hopefully it's not going to be too all over the place this time. And we'll get at least the same quality of matches as it was yesterday. As the top side especially looked very, very close. And it was literally about maintaining the pace, where one just light even release in a safe line costs you at the bottom of the leaderboards in the rounds. So looks like hopefully the match, at least the warm-up, will go a bit better. Maybe that slight server restart that happened to the players might throw them off. Let's see what happens here. Dvinho and Ziren having the best solid starts. Marcelli and Auris a bit behind. Oh, Dvinho dropped the gear there, had to readjust. Merely at least went for a bit of a right side jump there to give himself a bit more space. Ziren had to do a bit too many recorrections and now allows Auris to caught up. Marcelli is also not too far behind, only 0.3. Had to oversteer there at the end. Ziren on a best setup right now. Risks for the low jump, gets it as well nicely, and scores himself 10 points with Dvinho in seconds. Marcelli as well, actually trying to just play safe, but here, yeah, the pace is getting a bit higher as most of the players do approximately 0.5 from world record here. Just light overcorrection there for all the players in that round. Looks like there was an early mistake, but doesn't seem like it. Dvinho again, tiny bit ahead. What a weird line there from Marcelli. Gets a lot of speed, but has too much momentum there, so immediately slides out to the outside, but still is in the group pack at the top. Auris gets a very nicer line, but gets too much speed, so has to oversteer in the grass parts. Dvinho goes for a light low jump there. Doesn't gain nor lose anything to the wrist. Again, once again, Marcelli is 0.3 behind everyone else. Dvinho had to recorrect his line. Drops the positions to both owned players. As Dvinho trying to now keep the skid marks closer, get a bit more speed, but has to readjust the lines there and gets a pretty nice 10 points there. As even though he bounces out the finish, still gets the finish there. Marcelli, all players starting to get a bit more consistent. Marcelli starting to get a bit more outpaced, having a bit more over-wrist start of the map. But now Dvinho slowly overtakes Marcelli in total point standings. And both own players are now in a 1 and 2. Good oversteered by both own players. Marcelli finally gets the line of his preferred choice. Auris and Ziren gets a light clip early on. Drops quite a bit of momentum with that as well. Marcelli is now the one pushing it, trying to get the big points finally. Goes for a relatively safe line, trying to get a bit more airtime, but loses all of momentum due to that. To both Ziren and Dvinho, as Dvinho has the light touch. Where is Auris? Auris also made a light mistake there. So both Ziren and Marcelli trying to score the big points here. Looks like Marcelli is actually the one in the lead, and looks like Marcelli is gonna score his 10 points. Ziren, with that light hiccup in the early on, allowed Marcelli give that breathing room where Marcelli finally can get the big points. Where is Auris in the meanwhile? Auris also messed up the ends, so only gonna get 0.3. But still the Lithuanians are in the lead so far. But Marcelli gets a much needed 10 points there. Marcelli way too safe for the start. Drops around 0.2 at the very beginning. Meanwhile, Dvinho Auris Ziren with a close pack for the 10 points of the round. As looks like that Dvinho gets a light touch, so it just leaves two Lithuanians at the top, with Ziren crashing out completely. As it now even allows Marcelli to climb in the top two, with Auris having a relatively comfortable lead. Marcelli trying to go for a bit of a safer line. In the meanwhile, Dvinho had to readjust it. Auris looks like gonna get pretty safe 10 points, gets a light clip. Actually gets a solid time actually with that, as Marcelli gets a nice overtake by only 2 thousandths over Dvinho. Scores 7 points in his pockets. At least Ziren gets the finish at the end, as the finish timeout is reduced from 15 to 10 seconds. So a bit of a larger mistake can be way more punished here. As we're going to be going on map 3, which was the pick by Ziren, which is non-pareil. So Ziren's preferred pick of choice. We saw him having a really sick times here, really good pace, but at the same time a lot of weird mistakes coming out from over-risking. Especially during the Swiss stage, where the guy can do 0.7s and even 0.6s, I believe now. But with those light time saves, it does come a lot of inconsistency issues. But actually, if you look at the leaderboards, not too far apart. Ziren at 57, Dvinho at 41. Aurus and Marcelli as well, just a couple of solid positions away as well too. Snipe for the top positions. Dvinho with early mistake doesn't get the jump as well. Very unfortunate place to have. I don't know if he's going to be possible to finish. As long as he can make it in the 10 seconds of completion time from first place, he should be fine. Ziren touches the wall. Aurus had to recorrect the line, and that gives actually Marcelli a nice opportunity for the 10 points. Risky approach there from Marcelli, still holds on. Aurus and Marcelli trying to get for the 10 points right here. Aurus had to recorrect the line, gets closer, skid marks. What a weird line there. But actually Marcelli gets a good speed, and Marcelli is gonna get 10 points right here. The biggest underdog performance so far we have seen. The start of Swiss, seed 11. Start of the playoff bracket, seed number 7. One of the biggest surprises, his first top 8 performance. Dvinho doesn't get the finish in. So he'll now drop a lot of points now. Especially with the points gap starting to increase. But Marcelli, in the meanwhile, starting to close in to the Lithuanians with that. Very nice surprise there. Just trying to keep play it consistent. As we see that rest of the 3 players are really trying to just risk for a good time. Marcelli just tries to play it safe, play it consistent, and it's quite enough to get the big points as Dvinho there flies out. Tried to went for the low jump, it didn't work out at all. Both on players trying to go for a risk safer line. Now Marcelli went for a bit safer approach there into center point. It's not too slow a line, but does cause a bit of airtime and an oversteer. Looks like it's going to be a tight fight between the Lithuanians for the top slots. Ziren does get the better line, but Aurus has way more speed, and Aurus is going to secure the 10 points as both Lithuanians are starting to run away a bit with the points gap. Not the fastest times, honestly, especially considering we have seen in the Swiss. Even though on the first map we saw way more 46s. Here actually not the fastest pace, especially from both Lithuanians, as they were pretty consistent with their 48s. Marcelli now is only 10 points away himself from first place, as it was Ziren having a light clip with the inside line. Dvinho as well finally is in the top field as well. Marcelli this time has a light mistake, immediately even gets overtaken by Ziren. Dvinho gets a nice line there. Aurus gets way too big of a bump from the plastic park where he has to oversteer a bit, drops a lot of momentum as well. Dvinho the one now finally found a good opportunity to score some big points here. But Aurus still gonna be close second with that. First 48 of the map as well. Probably got a bit tired seeing that everyone does only 49, so finally pops in that 48. And scores some big points as well. As he now reduces the points gap only down to 11 points, as Marcelli only scores 3 in that previous round. Yes, Ziren Aurus, unfortunate mistake I saw at the start. Marcelli had a way too big of a safe clip early on, same with Ziren. Marcelli even had to readjust the line, didn't get the best geared, that's why allows now Ziren to catch up. In the meanwhile, tough fight for the big points. Dvinho from the bottom of the standings right now, trying to score something big here. Maybe can cash in a mistake from Aurus here. Aurus has a bit better setup. Dvinho has more speed and more inside line. Doesn't catch it up. At least Aurus gets that 48 finally of the match. Ziren also overtakes Marcelli at the very end. And I believe this now allows Dvinho to close in way more to the points. But now Aurus starts to run away, as he's at 89 points already. Almost 10 points gaps between first, second, and third. So probably Dvinho definitely doesn't be upset here, as his performance hasn't been the best. A lot of inconsistency issues here. As we go on, pick by Marcelli now. Which is Agartha made by Wizzy. I believe Marcelli has the slowest time between all of the players on this map. But there have been a lot of mistakes that can happen here, especially if you want to be really, really efficient on this map. So you can very, very easily force it out. Let's see what the players can do if we look at total standings. Auris at 89, Ziren at 79, Marcelli at 68, and Vinho at 61. So we play till... So players need to collect 110 points, and after they have collected the points gap, they need to win a round to secure their position and put themselves into the upper final as well. No major mistakes in the top 3. Marcelli went for a safer line there, dropped 0.2. Let's see on the ice slide. One small correction can drop you approximately 1/10 for every single adjustment you do. Not too large mistakes. Vinho had a great recovery line, got a good momentum in the dirt transition. This is the part where you can snowball quite well if you get the exit part in the wall hug parts. Auris didn't get the best. Vinho didn't get the best line there. Marcelli is not too far behind, but certainly is getting outpaced by the top 3. As both own players currently aiming for the 10 points. Will Auris can increase the lead. Looks like no major bounce, but Ziren is closing in. 100 was just enough to be in ahead of his teammate Ziren. And Auris secures another 10-pointer as he goes in 99. So he's 11 points now from entering finalist. But unfortunate mistake there. Actually not mistake, but just a slight overcorrection from Marcelli was the main thing what kind of caused him to be at the back of the set. Marcelli is once again with the slowest starts. Loses most of the time in the very beginning. Then you're finally getting a solid start here. Marcelli slowly catches up. Gets a good send there. Auris doesn't get the best ice slide. Gets a light two overcorrections there, which causes him a bit of momentum. The rest of the 3 players are at the top. Marcelli was very close on touching the wall right there. Vinho still in the first place. Ziren and Marcelli both had a pretty solid momentum, instantly allowed to catch up. Very sketchy line there, landing there from Ziren. Looks like Marcelli, Vinho, and Ziren really close in the top 3 right now. Marcelli goes for the safer line. Gets overtaken even by Auris there. Just because he went for a safer line, gets instantly overtaken by everyone else. And Auris snacks in that 3rd place. Even Auris almost even overtook Vinho there. But Ziren still the one who got the big points. And with that 2nd place, Vinho now closes in for 4th. Well, with only 1 points gap now. Marcelli honestly isn't playing too bad, but he's just getting outpaced. As about said, we haven't seen any major mistakes here so far on this map, but Auris there with the first touch on this map. Oh, Marcelli gets a really good ice slide there, but with no major corrections. Vinho drops the gear, gets a bump from the center, loses all momentum, even gets overtaken by Auris there. Marcelli with a good spot right now for the 10 points. Just needs to hold on the lead. However, Ziren is a bit pushing. With Auris very close second. Ziren clips the inside over wrist too much. Gets even overtaken by Vinho there. Yeah, Ziren has a very sketchy gear. Let's see what Auris does. Will he overtake Marcelli? Is Auris getting really solid and gets very good speed as well. Marcelli barely holds on the 10 points that he was always earning at the top. Auris still gets much needed 7 points, as he puts him only 10 points away now from entering finalists, but very much needed 10 points as he increases the gap between him and Vinho for the next round. Also important thing to note here is that bottom 2 players from this match are going to be put in the lower bracket semi-final. That's going to be happening at the same time. And the players who will get 3rd places will get a light pick advantage at the start of the match. Looks like Ziren and Marcelli having really bad sets. What on earth is Vinho doing? He went fully to the side, or what was that detour? Hello. This is a tournament, not a sightseeing thing. What a free round though for Auris, honestly. What did everyone do? Hello. Everyone had like a mistake or something. Auris has the freest finalist finisher so far. Surely Auris doesn't choke this, right? Right? Yeah, he takes it safe and scores his win. Yeah, 102. Literally just tried to play safe and well played there as Auris secures a spot in the top 6 already. As he's placed now in the upper final with that. As we're going on a map switch. So at least Auris gets closes out. And finally can have a small breather at least for now. As we're going on wavelength. There's gonna be the map 5. Auris had actually a solid match. Got a lot of round wins in. It's gonna allow him to score a lot of points here. So either Ziren or Dvinho are gonna be put in the lower bracket already. Ziren didn't have the best tournament. He has been looking one of the fastest players, especially in terms of peak pace, but consistency hasn't been it. On this map, there is a very tight line that saves approximately 0.2 if you do really good. Both Dvinho and Ziren usually go for it, but it's really easy to mess it up because you need to go everything right. Both Dvinho and Ziren got it. Marcelli opted out for the normal line there. He drops around 0.1 with that. As Auris and Dvinho had to... Ziren and Dvinho... Oh, what was that line? He got completely stuck to the wall there. And now Marcelli and Ziren on a path to score some big points here. With Marcelli as well with a weird oversteer there. Had to overcorrect his line a bit too much. Looks like Ziren now just needs to hold on the final points. Where is Dvinho? Dvinho is at the end. So at least Ziren now can score some points here. And enter the finalist for himself. Yeah, bit too safe. He was a bit too close to that black bar to the side, but went for a relatively safe finish. As he now enters finalist. Now Marcelli is 12 points away, so Marcelli and Dvinho have to deny Ziren for a good while, but we have seen Ziren choking quite a bit as soon as his number turns red. So Marcelli is out from this round to deny. Let's see what Dvinho does. Oh, Dvinho gets really good line there. Was full inside, got the good momentum as well. Even Ziren got the strats, but didn't get the best exit there. So Dvinho, good chance now to deny. Also score some points here. He needs to get a bunch of round wins in to put himself in the upper final. Wait, what was that line? He went for a full drop down, got a lot of airtime. Thankfully didn't cost too much, but Ziren is ahead. Dvinho now risking for trying to build up way more speed. Ziren goes for a bit more convenient lines there. Oh, Dvinho gets good speed there over Ziren. Let's see if they don't risk the end. Dvinho didn't risk the end that much. Ziren did go for the riskier line there, but Dvinho scores the 10 points. Solid time as well, 0.3. So good time there. Marcelli at least gets to score his 5 points. So now Marcelli is a round win away from entering finalist himself. Marcelli going for the safe line. Ziren touches the wall. The fast line doesn't work out for him at all. Marcelli messes up the drift somehow. That's a weird place to have a mess up. And Dvinho gets a pretty free 10 points right now. He literally just needs to save, right? Nothing crazy is gonna happen surely, right? In the meanwhile, Ziren trying to deny some points from Marcelli. Actually, Marcelli needs to get at least top 2 here to enter finalist for himself. So if Ziren has a light mistake and Marcelli overtakes him, Marcelli also instantly gets put into the finalist modes, which doesn't happen this round. That light mistake from Marcelli, that slight drift mess up, cost him the finalist there, as there was quite all over the place round, honestly. So once again, a wasted opportunity from Ziren. as this is his last round to be the only player from the players left here without the finalist. So he needs to really use this opportunity here or now, because instantly Marcelli and Vigno going out in next round, and Ziren doesn't work out for that him at all. And Vigno gets a good chance now. He tries to build a bit more confidence for the next round here. As both him and Marcelli are gonna enter finals, are gonna have triple finalists for the next round, unless Marcelli and Vigno both mess up and somehow mysteriously Ziren gets first. Ziren is actually pushing as he's gaining on Vigno. It was a second gap and now it's down to 0.8. Surely Vigno doesn't mess up the finish. Vigno doesn't mess it. Actually, good time from Vigno there. 0.2. 0.2 is really solid time, especially for rounds. So good time there from Vigno. But hopefully he can bring that momentum as we have triple finalists right here. Also, we have results from the other semi-final as well. Morioka and Kridi are the ones who go through the upper final, with Ieva in third and Karluki in fourth. As actually now we get a map change, so maybe this was fully calculated by Vigno, because this is Vigno's pick. So the full maps went out very well into his favor. So despite not having the best match and having a really good comeback on map 4, Vigno has a great chance here as we're going on a final round. So one of these players, either Marcelli, Vigno or Ziren, gonna put themselves into the upper. Oh, and it's not gonna be Ziren. We're gonna see Ziren in lower, so it's between Marcelli and Vigno. Classic Ziren there. Gets finalist, chokes instantly. Classic. But yeah, either way, Vigno and Marcelli, the ones in a 1 and 2. One of them needs to get around it. Oh, no way Marcelli's gonna close it out. The bottom seeds. The bottom seed has a really good chance to close it out. Vigno is really close. Oversteer there from Marcelli there. Drops a lot of momentum with that. What does Vigno do? Vigno goes for a safe line. Oh, Marcelli does have no speed there. And Vigno actually closes it out and puts both Ziren and Marcelli. Very sick comeback there from Vigno if you look at it. As he puts Ziren and Marcelli in the lower brackets. And Auris and Vigno advance to the upper match, as we have, if you do exclamation mark bracket to see the full match results. So the upper bracket final is gonna be Morioka, Kridi, Auris, and Vigno. Those are gonna be the matchups. And with the players who won their matches, they will get the pick ban advantage as well. So they will be giving that possibility there in the next match. But yeah, I'm gonna go on a small break for a couple of minutes, and we're gonna go back with the round 2, the upper bracket final on the Baltic Trackmania Championship 2023-2024 solo playoffs. Alright, welcome back to the Baltic Trackmania Championship. It's time for our upper final. It's gonna be between Vinho, Auris, Morioka, and Creedy. That's gonna be the match that we're gonna have for upper finals here today. So the way how it's gonna work, we're gonna do a small pick and ban, and then we're gonna go to the full match. Top 2 players from this match are gonna move on to the to the grand final, as the bottom 2 players are gonna go into the lower rounds. So this is gonna be the side who will be going into the... Oh my goodness, come on, once again. We already had this behind the scenes. So probably classic tech issues. Alright, we'll go on a small break, try to sort out the tech issues, and then we're gonna be back. Alright, we're finally back. We have finally everything sorted out, and we're time for our upper final here in the Baltic Trackmania Championship. It's gonna be between Morioka, Dvinho, Creedy, and Auris. That's gonna be our top 6 players at minimum here. The top 2 players from here will be disputed into the grand final, where there at least one of them is gonna guarantee at least a minimum of 50 euros at least. So let's see how it will go. So one of the important things to mention is that Creedy actually has been performing really good here. And so good chance for Creedy now to put himself in the grand final. He hadn't been in a top 8 at a Baltic tournament in a good while. So the fact that he's not only playoffs but already is in top 6 is a really solid performance from him. If you look at some of the recent Baltic tournament results, Dvinho in the last Baltic Trackmania League, for example, was 6th, Morioka won it, Auris was 4th, and yeah, Creedy was, I believe, 12th. So for some players, this is a nice step up, but some people are looking for that redemption once again to show what they can do. So either way, let's go here. Map 1, non-pareil. So we're playing till 110 points. 4 rounds per map till 2 winners. So the same game mode as it was last time. Oh, Dvinho light touch there early on. Creedy having a solid start here. Morioka in a very close third, but Dvinho as well not having the best start of the match already. Morioka going for that left side right approach. Actually gains tiny bits to the rest of the players. Auris goes full inside, trying to keep the skin marks closer to the exit point, but it's gonna be very close for the opening round. Creedy got a really risky line there, managed to survive with the 10 points as well, as he's gonna be the opening round winner here on a map of his own. So opening round here for Creedy. Morioka has been the best performing player here in the Baltic Trackmania Championship so far. Got a win for the team event together with Dvinho. Second place. Auris having a win in the BTC this year already. Actually a good chance for Auris to farm some prize money during month of January, since he got the win in the BTC team events. Oi, 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 what a bounce there from Auris. And if he gets top 3 here, and then there's a Lithuanian-only tournament as well next week. So good chance for Auris and Ziren to get some prize money in their pocket, but looks like Estonians are going to be the ones that might be denying that, as Creedy gets another 10 points here. And 2 10 points in a row. Having a very solid start to the match here. As Auris only gets 3, so both Auris and Dvinho at the bottom, as Estonians going for that 1 and 2 so far. Both Vortex players here. Having a solid start, Dvinho as well. Unfortunate touch, managed to salvage the line to at least get the jump to not go for the respawn. So top 3 players very, very close here. A bit of a recorrected line there from Creedy. Loses a bit of momentum, but has a better setup for the upcoming line. So don't lose too much. Auris had to oversteer. Morioka gets way better setup, gets the overtake with that. So Auris now together with Auris. Auris together with Auris. Yeah, someone hasn't eaten breakfast today. So Auris together with Creedy. Oh, but looks like Morioka this time might deny here. And gonna be another Estonian win. 0.8, both done by Auris and Morioka. Actually, I'm lying. Auris had a 0.9 there. But either way, Auris getting that 7 points. Morioka getting those 10. Now closes in at the top. Well, Dvinho is a bit doing his own thing a bit at the back. Actually, Dvinho has the fastest time between the players here. Just that over-risking every single time makes him drop a bunch of rounds here. Morioka, good setup there from the center point. Really had to readjust it. Dvinho had a sketchy line there, still survives. Goes for the full inside approach. Morioka gets more speed. No speech bubbles here for this round. Greedy the one bit behind. Goes for the outside line. Trying to maintain, but has to oversteer at the end. Gets the smooth jump there. Oh, good chance now for Dvinho to get the snipe in, but it's not enough. Sick time there from Morioka. 0.7 there. Auris as well, not too shabby with a 0.9. So solid pace here driven in the upper final. So let's see what's gonna be happening for the next round. I think the grand final is gonna be pretty sick. Those are some pretty good times there as well. 0.7 was literally 200s off world record a week ago. Now it's around like 0.2 off world record. I believe 0.6 right now is the world record. As we're going on down tempo. As some people said, the map that forces out the most mistakes. It looks pretty simplistic in nature, but has way too many tight parts and some sketchy gears there as well that you kind of have to maintain and survive with as well. Especially the ending line, if you'll see people really forcing their pace here. So it can really toss them out the most and cause some light touches at the end, which can cause up to 4 seconds time loss, which instantly ruins your rounds. Really had to readjust. Light release early on. No light touches here. Morioka managing to salvage his line. And you're trying to go for full inside. Doesn't get as much exit speed as Auris and Morioka have. Greedy as well. Pretty close. Morioka early mistake. I believe first mistake from him in this match. Dvinho gets really good gear there from the transition. And gets a lot of exit speed to overtake Auris there. Greedy very close at the bottom. Greedy drops the gear. Loses a bunch of momentum as well. Morioka this time is completely behind now. Auris gets a good line, potentially gets more speed than Dvinho, but the gap was already a bit too huge. And a good time there from Dvinho as well. 0.7. 46.7 was really solid. I think one of the fastest times we have seen in the match as well. So finally climbing back as we have a fully inverted points given out from the total standings. As Dvinho and Auris get the big points here. Reducing and squishing, creating a small sandwich with the points. Light touch there, that was Greedy, I believe, with the early touch there. Probably Greedy will be a bit molding as this is the best map for Greedy. So we usually see the inverted. The fastest time who is on the map performs the least best. Morioka gets a good drift there. Everyone go for the side ramp jump to get that insta grip. Trying to manipulate the brake. Morioka doesn't get the gear. Leaves both bottom two players from the total standings for the fight. Dvinho had to readjust, but still gets more momentum than Auris at the end. And Morioka even gets third there. So another 46 here driven in the round. So Dvinho gets finally another 10 points here. Another inverted leaderboard, come to think of it. Almost inverted. As now with that, those two mistakes, Greedy drops from the top two to the bottom. Right there, just because Dvinho and Auris gets the big points here, which probably will sting a bit more for Greedy, considering this is his best map. Auris had to recorrect the line early on. Drop the bottom momentum. Greedy once again, unfortunate clip there. I sense the molding all the way here. That's happening on his side. Yep, the good old classic mistake snowball is happening as well. As there's a close tight between the both Bing Chilling players from the team tournament early on. They actually went for a safer line there. With that, now the gap is reduced between him and Dvinho here. Oh, Dvinho had more speed, had to do a release there. And Morioka snacks in the 10 points here. Greedy once again, only 3 points from this round. But Dvinho once again getting a top 2, finally getting some points on his side. Started from the bottom, now in the top 2. As Morioka secures now a 10th place with that 10th place. First place with those 10 points. Greedy once again. Oy. That's a slow-mo block moment and a half right there. Morioka, Dvinho once again. Dvinho had to recorrect the line, drop the gear at the exit, lost all momentum there. Morioka gets the advantage now from that turn there. Oh, it is really close. Ooh, gets too big of a wobble, allows now Dvinho to catch up. Morioka loses the gear once again. Ah, that's so unfortunate. Gets overtaken by both Vinho and Auris now. Oh, Morioka gets a good speed line, touches the wall, and doesn't get anything done. Had a good start. Actually, Morioka was on a sick time right there. Morioka even gets overtaken by Creedy due to his mistake, as Auris now gets the 10 points. And I believe that now, yeah, it now closes out the top 3 to only 2 points gap. As now Creedy completely entered his own favorite map of choice. That now even starts to form a gap with that. We're going on Agartha. Actually, very similar map order as we saw first time in the first final. First semi-final. So let's see what happens here. Agartha made by Wizzy. What happens here by the players? So if you look at the top times here on this specific map, we were seeing like around like mid 101s here. So yeah, the world record here is by Auris, 101.3. 101.322 to be very, very precise. But most players from this match can do 0.3, 0.4s in their peak pace. So let's see what happens here in the match. A good match time here is a 0.5, but you need to go everything right. No corrections to the ice slide, getting all lines nice and easy. Nice and optimized, nice and efficient. Both Vortex players in a 1 and 2. As Bodvinho actually gets a very good speed, catches up, has a good entry point at the checkpoint, closes into Morioka there as well. Really the one now in the leading position. Morioka closes in now, as both players have equal speed with the equal line as well. At the end, Morioka has way more speed than that. Where is Auris? Auris gets the end really good. Overtake is Dvinho with a good round there as well. 0.8 as the last place here. And Morioka scores in the 10 points. Good risk there. Good exit line actually. At the end from Morioka, he now extends the lead by a tiny bit. Greedy as well. Much needed, at least 7 points. With that he closes in a bit from the bottom position from his inting from the previous match. Actually literally lost all of his top 2 placements in that one map. Oi, 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 what is this happening? We don't... This is not the Swiss stage, Greedy, that I saw. Swiss stage was going really, really solid, consistent. Morioka having a very weird salvage line right there, but got good momentum out of it. As he tried to keep the grip there, but doesn't work out. Gets overtaken by both Auris and Greedy even there. Greedy got a good wall hug there, but too late steering there. Pretty large gaps here for now. As we have Dvinho and Auris in first and second. Greedy very, very close. Morioka a bit at the bottom. We have seen Auris getting really good end here. Oh, you over-risk too much. Where is even Morioka? Greedy snacks in on Dvinho as well. Wait a minute, what? So Auris got it good. Dvinho was the one with the mistake. And Greedy even overtakes Dvinho there with that. As Morioka gets only 3 points. As now with that, Auris and Morioka both are tied for the top 2. Morioka gets the best start. We always see some clips here happening. We have seen quite often. Greedy went for a really safe line there. Dropped around 0.2 to the race leaders. How many recorrections in the ice slide? This has been the biggest separator. Auris had a light readjustment. Dropped 0.1. Immediately went to the same status as Greedy. Morioka had to oversteer there. Had a bit too much speed. But still keeps his distance between the second place. Auris had a really good end there. I believe he gained tiny bits to Morioka there. Really unfortunate touch there. Light clip to the checkpoint. Immediately goes down the list in the placements. Oh, Auris getting a good end there to Morioka. Good risk from Auris. Will he catch up? He will catch up, but will not overtake. As Morioka scores 10 points for him and now goes into the lead. As they're both, Auris and Morioka, are fighting for the top 1 for now to enter the finalists as early as they can. Our players getting the low jump transition line. Who was that? That was Morioka. Crashed out, had to go for the respawn. So the race leader is out. So this is a great chance for the rest of the players to score the big points here. Looks like both Vinho and Greedy, who are the two players at the bottom of the board, are the ones who are looking out for the most. Greedy doesn't get the grip from the ice to road transition. Now Auris is, Vinho is given with really a half a second lead over Auris for the 10 points, which he can use to reduce the gap between him and at least the top two. No way. No way. He went for the full risk there. And gets overtaken by Auris stats. And dude, since Morioka is last, I believe with that, Auris now overtakes Morioka in the standings for the top positions. What a silly mistake from Dvino there. What a silly mistake there. He went for full risk there, clip, and didn't get the 10 points in the end. And as Auris actually snagged it in the end. Yeah, Da Vinci is doing a bit of a distinky. As pull some weird stuff here in some rounds. Alright, let's see what wavelength. Looks like we'll see how many people will go for the risky line here. If you look at total standings, Auris is at 83, Morioka is at 79. Dvino at 72 and Creedy at 66. So Auris and Morioka still holding on in the top two, but Dvino is still pretty close. Creedy needs to get that consistency finally going. He barely survives it. Morioka is out. As Dvino gets to start really good. Light oversteer there from Dvino. Gets a good line there. Creedy as well gets it. Nicely done there. Oh, what an unfortunate clip. Over wrist there from Creedy. Still actually stays in somehow. Auris really trying to push it there. Got a light bump from the center line. It's a good speed. Dvino had to recorrect the line a bit. Lost a bit of momentum. Creedy is very close back in the thirds. So light mistake from Dvino or Auris. Can immediately put Creedy in the top three. Looks like Dvino, can he get his 10 points? Risky end there, and he does it. Creedy misses the end, still is in front of his teammate, Morioka. But Dvino is the one who secures the 10 points here. Especially as Morioka got last. It only puts them now at tight position now. And once again, it's a really good start. Same with Auris. Auris also gets pretty nice and easy there. As both Vortex players are in 3 and 4. Morioka as well needs to step up with the consistency game a bit. He can do solid pace. Consistency starts to lack a bit and gets a bit unfortunate also with the round placements due to that. He loses just he does really good on most of the rounds, but loses in the ones that kind of he doesn't make a mistake in the first place. Auris gets an unfortunate bump there, gets overtaken by Morioka like that. Creedy even a very close fight in the top two. Together with Vinho gets a light bump and stop in the center. Auris gets way better speed than Morioka for the overtake, but in the Weavald, Vinho scores in at 10 points right there. And starts to secure himself in the second place now. As we're closing into the end game a bit of this match. Looks like the other lower bracket semi-final or the elimination match of the playoffs as well is going pretty close. The fact that it hasn't ended. Unfortunate clip there from Morioka. But even a bigger mistake from Creedy. Wait, what are Estonians doing? Hello. As both Vinho and Auris are now dueling for the top points here. Wait, 8? No way. No way. Both of them clipped. Both of them clipped at the same time. Vinho got the best recovery there at the exit points. So still the points gap is still there. What is happening at the bottom? Morioka is in the lead for the third position there, but Dvinho and Auris really close in fight for the 10 points here. Auris gets a good setup. Dvinho gets a better risk, but still manages to close in. Only 55 times. That one clip, that synced clip from both of them. It was a good round. That's why there's only a 55 driven. Like, both got the slowdown at the end. But yeah, Dvinho, actually that overtake from Auris denies Dvinho from a round win away from entering finalist, as Auris literally just needs to finish a round. The main thing is deny some points, especially deny Dvinho the big points. Morioka once again with a not the best start. Oh, but instead we have Greedy finally doing something. Trying to prevent Dvinho. Wait, from where did Morioka came from? Hello. Ta-da. Looks like all 4 players are actually nicely packed. Dvinho risking for that inside line. Over this clipping part especially. Dvinho tosses it out, but a very sick fight here at top 3. Morioka goes for the release. Try to recorrect the line. Didn't work out that well. Draw 0.1 to the rest of the players. Always good chance here to score it big. Greedy as well. Greedy touches, doesn't make the end. Where is Dvinho? Dvinho overtakes Greedy at the end. Auris scores the 10 points here. As Auris now enters finalist. Morioka as well salvages some points as jumps to sadly just 99. But Dvinho is at 104. So if Greedy had held the overtake there, it could have been put Dvinho in that awkward position where he had to win a round to score big points. But now Dvinho needs a top 2 to enter finalists. As Auris is a finalist mode himself. So Auris now with the finalist status needs to win a round to secure his position into the grand final. Especially as a top seed where he'll get first pick advantage. In the meanwhile, we have Dvinho in second with 104. So Dvinho needs to get a top 2 finish in a round. Morioka is, 99 points away. So Morioka is at least 2 rounds away. At least 2 top 2s away. Or at least a top 2 and a top 3. To enter the finalist himself. But let's see what Auris can do here. We have seen as soon as the number turns red, Lithuanians start to choke. That's like the classic. So will Lithuania choke once again with the finalists? So far, doesn't have the best round. Dvinho, Morioka, and Greedy as well at the top. Dvinho currently in the best situation right now, trying to prevent some points from Morioka. Do not score big on this map. Greedy crashes out, gets put outside. Dvinho with the one leading. Morioka very actually with not that close second, because there's a pretty big gap forming. Where is Auris? Auris is even having a bigger mistake there. Light bomb from Morioka, doesn't get the finish. Sick time from Dvinho actually. A 0.0. 51-0. Pretty good pace there. And with that, Dvinho enters finalist as well. So Auris and Dvinho with a good chance to enter into the grand final. Morioka is a top 3 away, but of course denying Auris and Dvinho would be a bit better. This would give him still a rebound for a top seed in the match. Auris, Morioka, Dvinho, the top 3. Greedy is close 4th. Only Morioka having a good run. Oh, what a sketch line. Good recovery there from Morioka. Had a light breakdown to recorrect the line. Auris has a tiny bit more speed. Morioka got a light air time from the transition there. Auris very close. One small mistake for Morioka and it's Auris going in. But Morioka is gonna deny the finalists and gonna enter the finalist mode himself. As Greedy is getting denied by all 3 players as he gets only 3 points from the rounds. So a bit unfortunate situation there. In the meanwhile, in the lowers, Ziren won his lower match. Karluki in second to a Saprot. Looks like Marcelli in third and Ieva in fourth. So we're gonna see the lower bracket final afterwards this match. What that is that start from Creedy? So a good chance now from Dvinho and Morioka. Auris once again going the good old classic Lithuanian choke. And trying to prevent. Was the first person to enter finalist, can't close it out. Morioka crashes out, so Dvinho has the easiest finalist closeout to put himself in the top 4 ever. Surely he doesn't mess up the end. And he doesn't. Very safe line there. Actually solid time there. And Dvinho is the first person as the top seed on top of that to go into the grand final. And Creedy as well earns 7 points as well. Gives now 2 round. Basically at least gives that nice chance for now for Creedy. But Creedy needs... If he wants to put himself now into the grand final from this match, he needs to get 3 rounds wins in a row by denying Auris and Morioka. In the meanwhile, Morioka and Auris need to duel it and deny Creedy and each other for that spot in the grand final. Else they're gonna be fighting against Ziren and Karluki in lowers. Auris is out. Classic. It's actually kind of hilarious how often Lithuanians mess up finalist modes. Looks like Morioka, good setup. Creedy is pushing. Creedy is coming closer. One small mishap from Morioka. And Auris might be saved here. Oh, that was a very risky light there from Morioka. But still, Creedy is coming closer. Risky jump from Morioka. And Morioka closes out the finalist. Both Dvinho and Morioka close out the match ahead of Auris, who enter finalists first. And with that, Auris, Creedy, Ziren, and Karluki is gonna be the lower match. That's gonna be in the next round. In the meanwhile, Dvinho and Morioka are gonna be the 2 finalist players who are gonna be already put themselves in a grand final. So there's a good chance if Karluki and Creedy deny both Auris and Ziren, this might be the first time ever there's a chance to have another single Lithuanian player in the grand final. But either way, we're gonna go on a small break. We're gonna do a small setups, and we're gonna be back with the lower bracket final between Auris, Ziren, Creedy, and Karluki for the spots in the top 4. Alright, welcome back to the Baltic Trackmania Championship. It's time for our lower bracket final. The top 6 and the top 2 to decide who will be going into the grand final together with Vinho and Morioka. So this will be a pretty interesting fight, especially because both own players are here. Both of them managed to get the win in the teams events, representing team mode. But in the solos, the team Big Chilling, the team that was number 2, is now secured at both spots in the solos. So an interesting rule reversal right there. But let's see what happens here in practice. But together we have also Karluki and Kreedy. Kreedy, of course, came from the upper brackets final. And I know what's happening here. Otis was complaining about this, so there you go. But yeah, either way, we're going on a pick ban. So Calgario is picked by Auris, as both Auris and Kreedy are the players who to pick the maps, because they came from the upper side of the brackets. Next is Ziren. Let's see what Ziren. So we have Calgario is first, down tempo second, picked by Kreedy. In the previous match, actually, Kreedy lost all of his leads on down tempo, so it's kind of interesting that he goes for that. Let's see what Karluki. I'm sure Karluki goes with wavelength, and that is the case. And non-Parail is gonna be the last map in the map pool order. So let's see what happens. Cool to see all 3 Baltic countries here. At the same time, Lithuania needs to have a really need to step them up the game. If Kreedy and Karluki are gonna deny both own players, there's not gonna be a single Lithuanian player in the finals. So, alright, let's see. Good shots so far from Kreedy. He wanted to said, I remember when I spoke to him, he wanted to, I want to get the final. That's the main thing he wants to be at. He got in the upper final, but didn't play the best. But we saw him, he can definitely be up there if he plays his consistency well. At the same time, Auris and Ziren were expected to win the whole thing, but here they are at lowers. And in the meanwhile, Karluki having a really solid performance here. And being the only second Latvian representative in the playoffs together with Vinho, managed to go above of Marcelli and Ieva in the lower bracket semi-final, and due to that we see him here in the lower final. But either way, let's go. First map is gonna be in the lower bracket final between Auris, Kreedy, Ziren and Karluki. All 3 Baltic countries present, both own players, Vortex and Latvian Bullets, so all 3 teams also are present here, except for Baltic Vikings, who sadly are eliminated into the 7th and 8th positions. But still pretty good performance from Marcelli, who got his first top 8 at a Baltic event as well. So still a pretty solid performance from him, considering he was literally 1 round win away and a 1 round deny from entering the upper final and the top 6 for himself. Either way, first round, this was the pick by Auris, as he got 3rd place. And who was that? That was Ziren. Ziren with the early touch there, crashes out on the first round. Let's see what also Karluki can do. Also a mapper for waypoints. Mapping. It was player for Latvian Bullets, where he played together in the team event together with Karluki. With Crazy Cat. Let's see what he can do. Currently leading the round together with Kreedy. Kreedy got a really good exit transition there. Auris gets a lot of speed, has to go for a wider line. Has a good recovery with the line setup. Gets immediately put himself in the top 3. Kreedy crashes out. Where is Ziren? Ziren also overtakes and capitalizes on the mistake of Ziren. Karluki drops the gear, still barely holds on and denies Auris the 10 points, who had way more momentum than him. But Karluki is actually the first one to open the round right here. And let's see what happens here. Wait, Kreedy didn't get the finish in, so the 2-second finish timeout. 10-second finish timeout is a thing that happens into the playoffs. So didn't get the finish in. Might have to cause a bit of demoralization here. But good start from Karluki. Definitely makes the tension between the Lithuanian players, as they're both splitting the 2nd and 3rd position so far. On the notice, both owned players having really solid top 2 so far. I really like the thing with the Massa red and blue skins. Greedy really close. Karluki sadly with one with the mistake. Auris looks like gets in. Slight mistake there from Greedy. Still gets into the finish. Auris this time gets the 10 points. Let's see what happens here. Let's see what they can do. Uy, light touch early on. I think that was Karluki once again. Sadly, yes. So both Lithuanians once again. I have noticed both of them have numbers in the triagram. One has 777, other one has 21s. Greedy in the meanwhile fight for the top 3 here. Greedy goes for a light release at the jump to minimize the air time there. Goes for the higher wrist line. Gets even overtaken by Karluki there in the middle. Looks like both Lithuanians going for the top 2 right here once again. Will be the one who will get to 10 points here. Both are really close. Both get even a similar line, but Auris is the one once again who gets the 10 points. This was Auris' pick after all. By unfortunate mistake there from Karluki. It's overtaken by Greedy at the bottom. So both Lithuanians are in the 1 and 2. Trying to make sure that Lithuania gets represented here in the grand final for the top 4. Looking in the meanwhile as well, best performance for him at the Baltic tournament. First time getting a top 6. Previously best result out of him was top 8. Very unfortunate bump there from Karluki. He still is in the mix as well there. Who was that? That was Ziren. Ziren completely crashes out. Auris light release there as well. Karluki is still in the mix as well. Greedy has to oversteer, drops a bit of momentum to both Auris and Karluki. Karluki gets a bit late steer, gets tossed out with the lines as well. What a weird line there from Karluki. Karluki still managed to get the finish, but Greedy this time is the one with the big points. As he gets, I believe he now overtakes... he not yet, doesn't overtake just yet. But definitely closes the gap between the bottom 3. As Ziren, Karluki and Greedy both are with only 1 point gap each. In the meanwhile, Auris has a pretty solid points lead. 34 points out of the possible 40. So good start from him so far. So this is a pick by Greedy. As he was 4th place, 2nd place, or the 2nd loser from the upper match. That's why he got 2nd pick. We saw what Greedy did here in the upper final. This was his map of choice, but crashed out all 4 rounds. The match was played out. So let's see what happens here. Will Greedy gets this redemption here? Or another choke factor will ensue once again. Auris played his map pick very well. That's why he built up the nice 12 points lead over the other players. No way! 8, no way. No shots. No shots. All 3 players crashed in the same parts. Touched at the same time. Greedy gets the freest overtake there. No way. Karluki even with that. Lithuanians mess it up even more with the most up snowball. Karluki is in the top 2 so far. Greedy gets a relatively easy 3 points. Let's see if he sees the split. So still a very hard line there from Greedy. Still gets it. In there with the 47. Karluki gets the +7. But Ziren is the one who gets the 5 points at the end. No way. I still can't believe it. All 3 of them touched at the same parts. Invert the leaderboard moment. So we know invert the leaderboard makes the leaderboard squish a bit. With that, actually now Greedy jumps into 2nd place. Ziren this time with early mistake. Karluki with tiny bit slower starts. No sync tab this time. Greedy actually gets a solid start here. Karluki as well is very close in the mix. It's all about maintaining that gear in that U-turn part. There's a light recorrection there. Still maintains his second place. Karluki had to oversteer the drift there. Really still the one leading for the 10 points. Auris dropped the gear. Gets overtaken by Karluki due to that. Ziren as well 1 second ahead. Sketchy line there from Karluki. Karluki had to release. Will Auris overtake? No, that's not gonna happen. Greedy gonna collect his 10 points. Karluki still hold on barely with a +7. With the light release there. Cost him a bit. But Ziren is now falling down in the list. It was that Greedy with early touch. Ziren as well in the middle. Karluki Auris. Both players with a solid start. Oh, what a sick turn there by Ziren. Catches up to the top two with that. Good turn there by Ziren. We tried to have a really efficient line spacing there. Catches up even to Auris. Karluki as well gets overtaken by Ziren due to that. Karluki drops the gear. Same with Ziren. Greedy meanwhile gets it really good. Let's see what happens at the end. Who gets the most speed here? Ziren doesn't have too much speed. Karluki has tiny bit more speed over Greedy, but it's not enough. But Auris is the one with the 10 points. Not sure why Ziren DNF there. Because he lost his 3 points there. And he falls down even more in the list as there's now a 10 points gap due to that DNF from Ziren. Karluki with a relatively safe line there. Lose a bit of speed. Still is in the mix. Ziren not with the fastest start so far. Light recorrected lines both from Ziren and Karluki. Close fight for the top 3. Close fight for the top 1 as well. All players managed to maintain the gear here. Oh, very close at the top. Karluki goes for the inside line. Who snags it for the top? It's actually Greedy who gets the 10 points, and Karluki wins the second fight for the third. As Ziren just now starts to fall down, and the gap is starting to form between the top 3 and even top 2 now. As both Auris and Greedy, the both 2 players from the top side, start to extend the lead now. As we're going on map 3. This one was picked by Ziren. Ziren's preferred map of choice during the pick phase. Let's see, maybe he can get a nice bounce back happening. But if we look at total scoreline, it's going to be pretty rough because he's only at 33 points. Karluki has 45, Greedy at 57, Auris at 59. Let's see what happens here. Will Ziren get small redemption going on or no? I've seen a lot of mistakes coming out from people risking that outside dirt. Didn't happen this time. Karluki actually got good momentum there. Ziren Greedy. Oh, Karluki got a really good ice slide there. Caught up instantly to the top position right there, overtaking Lithuanians, and is in a close fight with Greedy. Ziren Auris trying to fight for that top 2 between each other. Who gets the best speed out of this? Auris gets the best wall hug. Gets a very sketchy line there, but managed to salvage it. There's a pretty nice Baltic top 3 going on right now for the 10 points. Between Karluki, Greedy, Auris. Auris was being looking as the best at the end. It's gonna be a really good round. Who's gonna be second? Greedy wins it. Karluki, no way. Tied time for the second place. Karluki, just because he was just a couple hundreds of heads of Auris in the second to last checkpoint, wins the tiebreaker. And denies the 2 points from Auris there. What a sick round there. see if you see any light touches here. All players survive. We'll see any corrections on the ice slide. One correction costs around 0.1. Basically, every single player did like one correction, so that's why everyone stayed in their same positions. Very close fights for the top 3 here. Ziren gets the most speed here, tries to go for a smooth wall hug. Auris gets the best momentum. Greedy doesn't get the best speed, doesn't get the gear at the exit part as well. So Ziren finally needs to get some points going with Auris. Auris is the one with the best end here. Oh, good risk there. Doesn't risk too much, not a good risk at all. At least Ziren collects his 10 points. 0.4, very good time there. That could have been a solid time for Auris as well. Sick pace right there. Unfortunate mistakes popped out at the end, but much needed 10 points there from Ziren. And it actually now allows Karluki a bit to close in as well. So maybe Ziren can bounce back, because this is on his tournament life already. Was looking as one of the favorites of the whole event. Yeah, it's a last checkpoint, sorry. Yeah, it's last checkpoint. Oversteer by Karluki at least salvages the grip. Greedy gets the best entry though. That is Auris. Auris had a light recorrection, dropped 0.4 to the race leader. Close back here for the 10 points. All players are practically even. Who gets the best momentum here after the wall hug? Still pretty even. Karluki actually done one with the most speeds. At the end, recorrection from Ziren. Very close fight here. Oh, Ziren gets a good low jump there. Gets tiny bit of momentum. An unfortunate touch there from Greedy. Karluki tries to save the drift. At least gets the +7. So the bottom 2 players get the big points here, as Auris was really close from the back. But unfortunate mistake there from Greedy put him at the back of the field. As now the bottom 3 positions are starting to get closer from behind. Ziren had to readjust the line at the very start. Same with Auris, doesn't get the best starts anymore. But with light corrections, drop around 0.1 already. Weird wobble there from Auris. Oh, what a sick dirt line from Karluki. Gets decent speed of it. Does a small bumps, had to recorrect it. Good speed though, but weird awkward ice entry there. Same from Greedy. Good exit speed. Like gets the half slide at the exit point, but there by Karluki. Still pretty close fight for the top 3. Auris is also not too far behind. Let's see who gets the best momentum. Oh, Ziren gets a good speed. Unfortunate clip there from Greedy. Gets instantly put at the back. But looks like that's Auris as well. We got another mistake. So great chance again. Once again for the bottom 2 players to score some big points here. Oh, Karluki gets assault. What a great risk from Ziren. But both of them got a sick exit there when Karluki wins the round. Great round there from Karluki. Overtakes Ziren. Actually, Karluki is a name we haven't really seen competing that much. Especially, he doesn't really play Cup of the Days or something like that often. And he's kind of like the Latvian ski freak a bit. Like, gets good from just testing the maps. So if you wonder how on earth or how did Karluki came here, well, he just tests maps a lot. That's the main thing. But like test them for a good while. And speaking of maps, we're actually going on the map pick from Karluki, which is his own map, Wavelength. So Karluki is not gonna go for the risky line there. Karluki is actually the only player who has a 0.2 without that crazy risky start line. So the start line can gain you a 0.2 potentially from the fastest way how to do the plastic turn. However, the more speed you have, if you get tiny bit bounced out to the left, you're gonna instantly hit the wall. So ideally you wanna land on the border to avoid the plastic to get insta grip. 3 players go for it. Greedy messes it up, but look at it. Like I said, Karluki is the best player who is the fastest player with the safe line, and he doesn't even overtake Auris, who went for the risky line there. But Ziren still got it way faster than Karluki with his approach. Oh, what a great exit there from Karluki. Closed out the skid marks, got the nose slide going. Instantly overtook with a massive gap and starting to run away even from Auris, who got the turn pretty well. Yeah, unfortunate clip there from Ziren, dropped him a 0.4, but he's still getting in, got a good drift there. Let's see what happens now at the end. Okay, gets a solid setup, very sketchy line there. Immediately lost most of his advantage, still holds on first place. That could have been a good time from Karluki, but dropped a lot of momentum at the end just to have a safer setup, but still holds on to the 5 points. Auris gets only +7, and Ziren only gets +5, but that actually now allows Karluki... Wait, no way. Karluki and Auris tied top 2. That small mistake from Creedy puts him at 3rd. This is a close match, man. If Ziren hadn't DNF'd that one round, he would have been so much closer in the total leaderboard, and he crashes out to start. The wrist doesn't work out well. Auris Karluki fighting. Creedy actually got a better dirt setup there. Got to gain a bit. Oh, that no slide from Karluki is working out actually not too shabby. Unfortunate clip there. Karluki gets a bit too wide. Gets more speed for this part. Has to then overdrift a bit more than Auris. What's happening at the bottom? Ziren has crashed out. Creedy as well mess up. So let's focus on the top. Auris starting to gain the lead back. Not the best setup there from Karluki. Really tries to play safe. Not a fan of the line that he has here. So Auris has really free 10 points here. Yeah, goes for the safe setup. Nothing too crazy. 0.3, really solid time as well, especially for rounds. And Auris collects the 10 points there. And Karluki is the one who goes in a light lead over Creedy in the top 2 now. Ziren gets the wobble, but still holds up. Look at the speed of Karluki. Like, everyone went for the risky line. Karluki is the fastest person with the safe line, and still gets the same pace as with everyone else with that. So no major mistakes now due to that. Close round to finally kickstart off a wavelength. We have 110 points for the finalists to close it out in the lower final. Karluki loses a bit of speed in the transition port in the grass part. Very risky inside line there. Doesn't get the best exit speed. But still pretty close. One mistake away if he gets a really good end. Can overtake. Unfortunate bobble there. But Ziren, that's an overtake on Ziren. Maybe a small mistake from Creedy. No, everyone aims directly. Auris is the one who gets the 10 points. Creedy with the +7. And Karluki with the +5. Ziren once again a bit chugging from the back. As Auris is now a top 2 away from entering finalists to go into potentially going into the grand final already. Unfortunate touch there from Ziren. Karluki once again, safe line. Like a really efficient safe line, or like the left side, is just as fast as like a medium fast line. That's the main thing I have noticed. Good dirt exit there by Creedy. Karluki had to oversteer, drops a lot of momentum. Goes neck to neck now with Auris, who crashes out. Went a bit too wide with the drift. The right back wheel touched the sides. And both Creedy and Karluki, the 2 people who are currently in the mid parts, are not only gonna deny Auris the finalist for now, but they're gonna score some much needed points for their own leaderboard. No way. Okay, Creedy somehow still got the finish there. Somehow, Karluki almost even got the overtake with that bump. And Ziren even overtakes Auris for a couple of points there as well. Now we have 107, 105, 103. Karluki needs a top 2. Creedy needs a top 3. And Auris needs just a finish. And then they'll be entering finalists, while Ziren is quite a long way behind. I feel like that DNF might bite Ziren quite a bit back. That happened on the U-turn map. Alright, let's go. Nonpareil, the 5th map of the pool, was picked randomly. Was the map that was left outside of the picks. Might be actually the decider here. This is the map for Lithuanians. Actually, for Ziren, this is his best map potentially, if he doesn't mess it up with the like a small, you know, a citation needed a bit. Let's see what happens here. The easiest map to play, however, the hardest one to push. It's very easy to mess it up, especially want to be really efficient. Karluki first one with the mistake. Both on players 1 and 2, no speech bubble moment just yet at the transition. Greedy trying to go with C2 different lines. Some go for no steer, some for the closeout line. Oh, Ziren Greedy gets more speed, gets the overtake on Auris at the very end. Ziren finally gets his 10 points that he much needs. And Greedy with that enters finalist. Auris as well. Karluki is 4 points though off finalists for now. We have 2 slots left for the grand final. So Auris and Greedy have a good opportunity here. Karluki as well, but needs to get the deny going. But at the same time, Ziren as well is not too far off. He continues and maxes out this map to his ability. This actually can be a good chance for Ziren to make a comeback, as this is his best map. At the same time, we have both Auris and Greedy with a finalist who need to get a round win. And in this round, it's not going to be from Auris. Ziren and Karluki both in a 1 and 2. Main thing that Karluki needs... Wow, how did Greedy got the momentum still go there? He left with both 2 wheels. Oh no, Karluki is the one who potentially can deny Greedy, but doesn't get the best landing. Greedy gets way too bit of outside line, has to go for... Hey, what did I see there? What did I see there? What was that? What was that? He literally drove into the... Oh my goodness. You know what happens? What's the worst case that could have happened for Karluki there? Not only one slot is out. Greedy goes into the grand final. Karluki with that is just 1 point away from finalists. Man. That's the worst thing that could have happened there for... Like, how did that happen? You have so much space there. Hello. In the meanwhile, looks like we have a Lithuanian 1v1 here. Auris for the spot in the final. Ziren as well. Ziren needs to deny the spots from his teammate. There's a pretty large gap. I'm not too sure if he'll check the splits here. 0.4 is a large gap on a map like this. Okay, goes for the light jump. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. What is this? Both are even now. Had a light mishap. So Auris can potentially eliminate both Karluki here from this part. Auris gets the best setup, but Ziren has way more speed. And Ziren denies Auris even with that weird mishap at the center of the map. Ziren was actually on a sick time there. He lost 0.4 at the very end, but at least now Karluki enters finalists here. As we're going to be going, I believe, on the next map. Ziren needs to win. Okay, we're still on this map. So Ziren needs to deny both Auris and Karluki right here. We have only 1 spot left for the final. One of them is secured by Greedy already. Not the best start from Karluki. Auris gets the bounce out, so we're gonna see one player. Who was that? Karluki messed it. Oh, no. This is the most anticlimactic way to end it off. Karluki crashes out. Ziren DNFs. Can we get a speech bubble from Auris, please, right now? So Ziren, you know. Okay, it doesn't happen. Okay. It looks like with that, Auris probably is gonna be the closing out unless he pulls a Karluki and misses the end. Too much pressure for some people. Too much pressure. Oh my goodness. Auris even did a light BM there. But yeah, with that, Auris closes in the lower bracket match and puts himself into the grand final together with him and Greedy, as we're gonna have a rebound of the last final. Sadly, Karluki crumbled a bit at the end. But in the end, Karluki still secures 5th place. Auris in Ziren in 6th. And now it's going to be time for the grand final. You can do ! bracket in the chat. Also do ! donate. We appreciate some light contributions, even if it's $1, €1. Would be nice to keep the events like this, you know, still happening. But yeah. Either way, you can do ! bracket to see the matchups, as we're going to have grand final. Dvinho, Morioka, Greedy, and Auris. At least we have all 3 Baltic countries represented here. I think solid performance from Karluki. He overtook a bunch of players who a lot of people did not expect. And especially outperformed Ziren, who was expected to win it. And Ziren, I believe, going out in 6th is not going to be the best feels for him. But yeah, with that, I'm gonna go on a small break, and it's gonna be time for the grand final of the Baltic Trackmania Championship solo events between Auris, Greedy, Dvinho, and Morioka. €350 on the line, as well as the title for the Baltic Trackmania Champion for 2023. So either way, we're gonna go back in approximately a couple minutes, and it's gonna be time for our grand final. Alright, it is time for our Baltic Trackmania Championship Solo Grand Final. We have seen a lot of the players trying to survive it from the team events, solo events. And it's time for the solos. The very first Baltic Trackmania Championship was held in the year 2020. It was still held in Trackmania 2 Stadium. In that year, only one player has been... Actually, from that event, we have two players who did competed in that event. It was both Auris and Morioka who competed in that event. In the very first one in Trackmania 2 Stadium. The first event was won by Bits. Kavi was in second, Morioka was third, and SRK was in fourth. In 2021, it was won by Morioka, where Bits was in second, SRK was in third, and Ieva was in fourth. In 2022, there was no events, and this year, we have Greedy, Morioka, Dvinho, and Auris are the finalists. What I love to see is that every single Baltic country is represented here, which is really dope. So let's see, two Vortex players this time around. Dvinho, who has no team, and Auris from Owned. 350 euro on the line as well as the champion title as well here. So both Morioka and Dvinho came from the upper bracket, so they got the first pick advantage into the pick and ban. With Dvinho getting the first pick, Morioka second, and Auris winning his third match got the third pick, and Greedy got the second. Alright, it's gonna be the first pick is gonna be Wavelength, which is picked by Dvinho. We have an extended point, so we're playing till 120 points. Still 4 rounds a map, but we're playing till every single winner. So we're still gonna close it out on first place, second place, and third place. So there's a higher chance of full map rotation. And with that, Dvinho was the first pick, so there's a good chance the match can close out on this map. Alright, let's go. Well, let's see what happens here. So first round of Baltic Trackmania Championship Solo Grand Final. Let's see what does go. Very risky line there from Auris was managed to succeed it well. Dvinho, sadly, who did pick the map, didn't get the best start here. Really, Morioka very close. A weird line there from Auris. Tried to readjust. It doesn't neither get the best approach nor the best exit speed from that. Both Estonians now in the 1 and 2. Morioka does get the clip early on. And now Auris and Dvinho are stuck in the second, third place. Meanwhile, the bottom seed, Greedy, is right now in the first position so far in this round. There has been a light mistake from everyone else, but this map can be punishing if you go for the all risky lines. Dvinho having a really good wrist right there. Didn't have the best start, but has a very good end. And as Greedy is gonna secure the 10 points, Dvinho in second, Auris third, and Morioka, the previous champion, is right now in fourth place. Also, important thing to mention is that in the previous similar Baltic event, which was the Baltic Trackmania League Summer 2023 season, the winner was Morioka, who managed to win it. Ziren was second, Arvito was third, and Auris was fourth. So those are some recent results. This time Arvito, who was the last Baltic Grand Final, didn't even make it through the Swiss stage this time around. Greedy with an early mistake in this round. So Dvinho had a top 6 placement in the Baltic event, but everyone tries to risk, and due to that, mistakes just pop out like that. Huge gaps. I think we have to even go on over your camera to see what's going on. So Morioka still is leading. Dvinho is second, Auris third. Greedy is right now doing a good presentation of Estonians being slow at the bottom. But Morioka actually is only one who's keeping up the pace, who at least balances out the playboard with that. As Morioka gets the run in 5.5, not the fastest time, but he tried to save the end. And Morioka now gets the 10 points from last to first. At least nicely equalizes the leaderboard, as we actually almost get a full inverse, which now allows actually Dvinho to go in a light lead with points. So this was the map picked by Dvinho. So despite the 2 unfortunate rounds, still holds on the point lead due to other people's mistakes. Goes for the risky line, gets way too big on the outside bounce. Doesn't get the most efficient line, that's why drops the speed to Greedy. Morioka meanwhile, also Dvinho's teammates in the team event from Team Bingchilling. as they represented that. Still finding Greedy, actually with the most solid start. Vinho risks for the inside line, overclips with the wheel too much, as it got bounced in. Allows now Morioka to catch up for third place, as Auris and Greedy trying to fight for the 10 points after the match, as current point leader Vinho with a larger mistake, and actually right now at the bottom trying to duel for the 5 points in the center. Greedy tries to score the 10. Gets a nice skid mark closer, gets more speed. Auris tries to snacking from the left side, gets to reduce the gap, but only gets a half 10 point lead. But Greedy still with that, actually goes in the lead at first. Imagine if Greedy wins. I think no one would have expected that. Greedy hasn't gotten a single top 8 in Baltic events during 2023. Vinho, unfortunate clip at the start over risking inside line. Very equal lines there from both Greedy and Auris in a 1-on-2. Morioka gets the safe line set up way better, as he doesn't risk the starts. Instantly goes in the second position. Good transition there with the dirt line, as the both Estonians now are 1-2. As Auris both makes a mistake. Vinho as well quite a bit behind, so it's now Estonians running for fight for the 10 points. The previous champion Morioka trying to get the big points, trying to deny Greedy here. Teammate from Vortex originally were supposed to team up for the team events, but sadly Greedy went with Insider. Unfortunate bounce there from Morioka. Greedy gets a good start though for the exit. Pretty large gaps at the end. No mistakes from Greedy. Oh, yeah. No mistakes. Called too early. Auris even overtakes. Greedy still managed to be ahead by Vinho by 300s. And with that, Morioka actually scores 10 points there for himself. And tries to actually now go into the tied lead together with Greedy in this match. Also, to give something interesting, I wanted to say Estonia didn't have that great performances during 2023, but yeah, main thing was that was the carry for Estonians was Morioka. There was only one Estonian player in the top 8 of the Baltic Trackmania League season, which was the last BTL season, and he ended up winning it. And now there's 2 Estonians this time around at least, and actually 3 of them in top 8. Alright, let's see. The points gap is still pretty close. Morioka Greedy tied with 28, Auris with 24, and Vinho with 20. Now we're going with a map pick by Morioka, which is Calgario. So unfortunately, Vinho didn't manage to work out his pick. Maybe it can bounce back when he has to close it out, as he has the fastest time here in the matches on the previous map, so hopefully he can get a bounce back during on the rest of the maps. You always feel a light pressure when you have your pick. It's like, okay, this is my time to shine, and then you usually choke it a bit more. Speaking of choking, Greedy is a bit 0.5 behind so far. Morioka actually trying to use his pick wisely. As we're going deeper, no points limit this time is 120. Oh, Morioka gets a nice low jump there. 0.0, solid time there for matches, as he scores his 10 points here. I believe now with that he goes into a lead, especially as Morioka gets Greedy gets only 3 points. Vinho getting second really tries to like ease the points gap between him and Auris, and Greedy getting last there also helps for both Auris and Vinho in total point standings. Morioka once again with the best starts. It's also a very good exit speed over that plastic line. Something Vinho clipped to the inside. Loses a lot of speed there. Oh, Morioka goes for the low jump on the left side. Try to build up a bit more speed. Gets the exit speed out of the next parts. Maintains his lead with that. Still keeps the grip. Even on the uphill you can lose a lot of speed there on this map by Rockets. Meanwhile, very close fight between Greedy and Auris for the 7 points. Morioka gets in with that 0.1 there. Greedy gets the overtake on Auris for the +7. And both Estonians are now going in light leads once again. As Auris once again... Actually, fun fact, Auris in every single Baltic event, Matt is fourth. In the BTL, he got fourth. In the spring season, let me remember. Spring season, it was won by Kuzi. Dvinho was second. Oh, right. In the spring season, there wasn't a single Estonian in the final. Right. Now I remember. Not sure who SKR is. But either way, Auris has more fourth places than me in Baltic events. Just saying. Alright, in the meanwhile, pretty solid round from everyone. Greedy is the only one with a light lead, but he had a better entry in the middle part. Morioka light lead over everyone else. Oh, will Morioka goes even for the low jump. What a sick round at the bottom three. 3,000ths of a gap and a 100.6 between the first and last. But yeah, Morioka the one with the scores in the big points here. While Ivan Rest tries to fight for the leftovers. Morioka starting to increase the lead once again. Definitely using his pick to advantage compared to what happened to Dvinho. Where he ended his map. Lily had the first pick. Oh, what happened to Auris there? Completely did a ricochet off the wall. The Bing Chilling players now in 1 and 2. Oh, good speed from Dvinho. Greedy goes for the outside line. Tries to build a bit more speed because it allows you to keep skid marks closer on the plastic part. Gains tiny bits. Oh, very good drift there by Greedy. Instantly goes into top 3 bunch. Morioka has a better setup for the grass part though, so the positions are a bit all over the place. No one got the cliff from the inside. Dvinho is the one behind. It's gonna be really close. Morioka gets the height jump. Still comes back with that in the first place. Greedy even snipes by just 1,000 over Dvinho on this map. As Auris collects the 3 points at the end. And again, Estonians are starting to run away with the points. What a sick round from him. What a sick comeback as well from Greedy into that top 2. Overtaking Dvinho by just 1,000 there. Alright, we're going on map 3. This is what one was picked by Greedy. Wait, or Auris actually. The first pick was, yeah, this one was picked by Auris. Usually this was the pick by Greedy. A bit of a kata in the warm-up. Alright, let's see. This is one of the most punishing maps here. There's a lot of weird gears that can quite easily split the field during the round as well. The start is ridiculously tight. So for rounds consistency, it's kind of hard to do, especially if you want to do it fast and efficiently. Especially this part right here, especially in Cam 1 and Cam 2 as well. It's kind of hard to see that left wall. It feels a bit blind. That's why we saw that triple synced touch in the lower bracket final. Dvinho with the early mistake. Greedy is actually the best player on this map, peak pace wise, but usually we have seen, usually the fastest players are the ones who over risk too much and crash out and don't get the big points just because everyone gets the good regu going. Auris with the oversteer instantly going for the no slide approach in that U-turn part. Good speed from Auris. Auris had to recorrect to not touch the wall. Was really close, but Greedy either way is the one who takes the 10 points here with Morioka in second. Auris in third. The Estonians are really performing here. Like, Estonians are playing really good here. Greedy's best performance in Baltic tournaments has been third place, if I recall correctly, in the Baltic Trackmania League Spring 2021, I believe. Where he placed third place, lost to Nustik and a bit into the grand final. Just don't ask who was fourth. Alright, no mistakes at the start this time around. Except for Auris. Auris lightly clips the CP there. Doesn't lose that much speed. All players get the gear. Actually, no. Dvinho doesn't get it. A bit too big of an oversteer. Let's see what happens here at the end. Morioka, really good speed at the end. Crazy momentum as well. Creed even snacks in on Auris. And doesn't get to sub 47 here, but still 10 points is 10 points. And once again, Estonians go in the 1 and 2. All of the rounds seems nice and even, but at the end, Estonians pop out somehow. Light clip from Dvinho. Dvinho has been the most inconsistent player of the grand final here so far. So at least a small Dvinho moment happening. Especially as he's 10 points off the third place so far. Auris clips the CP, but still is in. Maintains good momentum. Oh, Morioka having a sick line there during that transition. Auris is very close as well. Auris gets the best skier, so a 3-way fight for the 10 points. Oh, Auris went for the earlier release, gets the best speed and works out very well. You don't have a lot of space there to work with, but Auris finally gets the 10 points that he needs, denying Morioka the big 10. And Morioka actually only 7,000 so above of Creedy as well. So really close runs between the Estonians. And Dvinho is basically out of this match. At least for now. Well, at least looks like he's out for this round as well. As Morioka, Creedy, Auris try to get the 10 points going. Light touch there from Creedy. Morioka is the one who maintains the consistency going. If you look at Morioka's Wikipedia page, he basically has only top 1s and top 3s from Baltic events. His lowest performing Baltic tournament was 3rd place in the Baltic Trackmania Championship in 2020. Yeah, in 2020, when it was still held in Trackmania 2 Stadium. What a 6-speed there by Auris. And Morioka snacks in another 10 points. Just try to play the end really safe there. Morioka's only 2nd place in his last tournaments were when he lost to Sander in the winter season in 2022. And when he lost to Team Owns in the team event in the BTL as well. Those were his only non-first places. In every single other event he has competed, he has won. Including online and LAN events as well. I believe as Morioka is like the most earning Trackmania player who hasn't played a single international event. Which is actually ridiculous if you think about it. I think the guy has more earnings than most TMCL. Just from playing Baltic events. Alright, maybe he can increase his earnings rating a bit more even here as well. But so far it's looking promising. As he's 18 points away from finalists. He's 30... Okay, so he's 25 points ahead of 2nd place. Which is an insane gap. Both Vortex players getting the 1 and 2. Auris is a very close 3rd, but Auris needs to get a good end here to get a good momentum going. Oh, Auris gets a good momentum, good gear at the exit point. Dvinho as well is still in it, but everyone is really pushing the pace. That's why the gap has formed. Oh, Morioka doesn't get the best transition. Auris gets it really good. Auris was really good at the very end. He gets the overtake on Creedy at the end, but it's super tight as only 8,000s at the end. But Morioka is still the one at the top. And now Morioka is really a round win away from entering finalists. As he's 30 points ahead of 2nd place, which is Creedy. Morioka having a really good match. The main thing what I have noticed in Morioka's playstyle, I really hope I don't jinx him now, is he doesn't push for pace, he really adapts to a round. Like, if he needs to risk, he risks. If he sees someone crashes, he can saves. Which is a really good approach how to take a match like this. That's why we see, if Morioka is a bit behind, he's gonna instantly start to push or go for something risky, which can cause for a crash. But if he's ahead, he just stays nice and consistent. Alright, in the meanwhile, finally, Dvinho is trying to invert the scoreboards. Has a really good start right now. Maybe we'll get a good pace going as well. In the meanwhile, there's a pretty tight fight for the 7 points in the 2nd place. Dvinho even gets slowly getting closer by the rest of the field. Morioka gets a really sick drift at the end. Vinho has actually really good time, 0.5. Really solid time for rounds as he gets finally the 10 points he needs and denies Morioka entering the finalists with just 1 point. Unfortunate there, but still he has so much room. Morioka has so much room to still enter finalists with a lot of attempts going as well. Auris as well has started to cut to Creedy as there's only 2 points difference between Auris and Creedy in total standings. Mistake early on from Dvinho. Estonia, the superior Baltic nation, but they didn't win the team event nor the country event, so they have a good chance here for the solos at least. Auris getting a good speed, but Morioka has even more speed here. Oh, good momentum over. Gets the overtake. Creedy. Auris clips the inside. There's an Estonian 1 and 2 brewing once again. Morioka trying to deny, trying to slow down the process for Creedy to obtain the points for finalist as he gets a 0.52. And now he's on his first finalist attempt for Morioka to close it out and get the championship title. Now everyone else needs to deny Morioka now. Instead of a 1v1v1, this turns into a 3v1 for now. Auris, Dvinho and Creedy really need to get that deny going. A good recovery there from Dvinho. Gets the light touch, goes for the no slide to back it up. So doesn't lose that much speed. Looks like Auris the best chance to deny Morioka here. Good exit there from Auris. Goes for a really risky line there. Good closeout as well. Tighter approach. Both players with an equal speed. Auris the one potentially denying. Gets a better setup. Gets one less break time. Dutra gets a bit more momentum. At the end, Auris crashes out. And this lifts Morioka with an amazing opportunity. It's no room, no competition here as Morioka takes the Baltic Trackmania Championship title for the 2023 season in year 2024. And gets another win in his books and gets €200 bonus as well with this. And secures another Baltic tournament win in his pockets. And also not only that, with that, Morioka also denies the Lithuanian triple win in the Baltic Trackmania Championship as well. Really well played by Morioka. That was really sick pace and especially consistency. His map adapting to the match was insane. But we're still gonna play it out for second and third as well. So Auris, Creedy and Dvinho now have a spot for €100 for the second place. So the money is still on the line. Because there is €100 bonus for second place. Right now, Creedy is in the best position with 97 points. 23 points away from entering the finalist status. Dvinho not having the best match, only with 75 points. Auris having the best setup so far. Oh, yo. Creedy messes it up. Toss away some of the points. Will enter in the 100 digits, at triple digits. But Auris is gonna be at 99 with that and gonna close in the finalist as well. With his gym just being only 21 points away. It's actually crazy how big of a gap Morioka managed to build up with this. Creedy is now 2 round wins away from entering finalist himself. And setting the best performance at a Baltic Trackmania tournament for himself. Creedy's best performance and the best result at a Baltic tournament was 3rd place, which was 3 years ago. in the Baltic Trackmania League Spring 2022. So it's a good chance for him now to set a new personal best result placement wise. Auris wants to deny his first place curse as well. At least there is Dvinho who's anchoring the scoreboard a bit. That gives a nice chance for Auris as well. But every single point, Auris wants that second at least. But Greedy gets way better pace. 48-8. Pretty good pace from them. As now Greedy is one round win away from entering finalists to potentially secure the second place. What a weird pause here. Dots. Alright, so let's go. The next round. Greedy needs to get a round win here. And he can enter the next round. Sorry, enter the finalists. The last time Estonia got a 1 and 2 was 2 years ago in the Baltic Trackmania League winter 2022, where both Morioka and Sander got the 1 and 2 above Auris and Bits into the grand final. Greedy looks like might be on a path to enter into finalist mode himself, as Auris can't keep up with the pace. 0.6! 0.6 in a match. That's the fastest time I have seen in a match. That's a sick time by Greedy there. 0.68. That's ridiculous. That's actually fast. To give an idea, if you get everything right, you get a 0.8 on this map. So you have to be really freaking efficient with the lines and how close you go, and with the skid marks to even push for a 0.7. And keep in mind that you have to be like ridiculously efficient to get a 0.6. Oi, 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 Auris gets a speech bubble, but the speech bubble is actually on his sides. Dvinho this time remembers, oh yeah, I'm playing as well. And it's a good chance now here to deny some points, collect some points when he has to duel Auris for the third place, unless he denies Greedy here. 0.7 this time for Dvinho as well. 6 times done here by them. That is crazy. They're really, really going all in here. But yeah, Greedy is still on the finalists, as we're going on wavelength. So this was Dvinho's pick. So Auris is in a situation. Auris needs to deny Greedy for the finalists for the second place. Dvinho needs to win at least 2 rounds and he enters finalist himself. Auris just needs to get a finish. And Greedy, to secure second place, needs to get a round win. Yeah, Auris is a bit warming up with the start line. So let's see. Greedy on a chance to close it out. Secure the Estonian 1 and 2 in the Baltic Trackmania Championship solo event. Not sure what happened there to Dvinho. Let's double check. Okay, no call for pause. So Dvinho just had a late start. No call as well. Greedy with a good start. Got the skid marks nice and lined up as well for a lot of speeds. So great opportunity now for Greedy to close it out. Secure the Estonia 1 and 2 for Team Vortex. Greedy. Good chance. Needs to just save it. And it looks like Greedy's gonna secure the second place with a 0.3 as well, above of Auris. And we're gonna be now fighting for third place. Someone... Yeah, no, just calls a pause when, of course, after the time check, you know. But Greedy, either way, secures the second place. But looks like we're still going to be going here for the next rounds. The side for thirds. So Estonia does get the 1 and 2 here. So now Dvinho needs to get that bounce back going. Gets a good speed here. This was Dvinho's preferred map of choice. Auris doesn't want to be in the 4th place curse once again. Dvinho goes for a bit wider line there. No way, Dvinho clips. Oh, that's an unfortunate mistake with the speed outcome. Auris with a good chance to deny his 4th place curse and secure the 3rd place here. Dvinho DNFs. And with that, Auris secures the 3rd place. Morioka in 1st. Greedy in 2nd with that Vortex and Estonia 1 and 2. Auris secures 3rd place. And Dvinho leaves in 4th. Congratulations to Morioka for winning the Baltic Trackmania Championship for solos. Greedy for 2nd, having his best performance at a Baltic tournament as well. For Auris in 3rd, breaking his 4th place curse as well. And having a nice bonus as well. So 1st place gonna get a bonus of €200. 2nd place gonna get a bonus of €100. And Auris gonna get a bonus of €50. So I wanted to say thank you everyone who tuned in to watch these matches. We're going to be hosting a bit more some events, and Baltic Trackmania League is going to continue on in April as well with the teams and solos as well. So I want to say thank you everyone who did take part in the open qualifiers and in the main event, take part in the teams event, in a country event. Also who watched in, did some chatting, XTD spamming as well. That's always appreciated for any event as well. And that's going to be a wrap for the Baltic Trackmania Championship 2023-2024 as we were done with all 3 events. The team owned with Auris and Ziren got the win in the team events. Team Lithuania won the country events. And now Morioka from Estonia representing Team Vortex ticked down and continues his win streak in the Baltic scene by winning the solo event as well. One important thing to mention, that's from the Baltic Trackmania or myself hosting, and FastPoint hosting the next Baltic event is going to be in April with the Baltic Trackmania League, which is going to have a team event and a solo event. There's going to be also an amateur tournament for solos as well, hosted with it. So if you want to just try yourself out and you can play in that. At the same time, next week, there is a Lithuanian-only tournament with €200 prize pool as well, hosted by InfoShow. So if you're from Lithuania, I highly recommend checking that event out. Because literally anyone from Lithuania can play it. But yeah, I want to say once again, thank you for everyone who tuned in for the stream here as well. Hope you enjoyed some of the matches here done. I want to mention that during next month, there's going to be the FastPoint League happening as well. So if you want to play some Trackmania tournaments, plays with your duo as well. Find a teammate as well to play with. There's going to be a chance to do so in February. For more info on that, make sure to check out the FastPoint Discord as well, or FastPoint social media for more updates and information regarding that. But yeah, once again, congratulations to Morioka for today. And that's going to be it for me today. Make sure to give a follow for this stream because there's going to be the Middle Eastern Trackmania Championship happening on this channel next week as well happening. And I would love to see some more people also trying events. And hopefully we see also Morioka finally trying himself out in some international events as well. But yeah, anyway, I want to just say, I would also appreciate if there was a small contribution here done to the FastPoint's PayPal as well, because small contributions really help events going and happening in Trackmania as well. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off for today. Hope you all enjoy the stream, enjoy the matches as well, enjoy the event as well. Next week is gonna be the Middle East and Africa Trackmania Championship Top 16 main events, and in February we have the FastPoint League starting off with 3 sub events as well. There's gonna be some invited teams, some invited players where you can take your part there as well. But yeah, that's gonna be a wrap for us and or for myself. Hope you enjoy the events and see y'all later. Bye bye.